Welcome to Phase 5, represented by the solar plexus chakra, where we will be focusing on cultivating personal power. In this part, we'll explore the profound realm of building self-esteem, as self-esteem is the foundation of personal power, influencing our actions, decisions, and the way we navigate the world. It's the secret sauce to unlocking our true potential. The quote for this lesson in particular is, "When true power is present, we won't need words to say who we are." This quote in particular is represented by the fact that when we learn how to cultivate that innate true power within ourselves that we all hold, we won't need to say any form of I am to anyone around us, because our behaviors, our energy, our actions, and the consistency of them will represent the quality of the nature that we are becoming. Therefore, it is a motion that needs no words to be expressed, for it would be felt. And when we learn how to become woven with that full potential of ourselves, we will quickly realize that we will no longer have the need to seek a validation of that individual that we know to be. For we know who we are, and when we know who we are, people around us will also know and see and feel that very same thing. Therefore, when we learn to understand the importance of self-esteem, we'll quickly realize that self-esteem isn't mere vanity or self-indulgence. It's the unwavering belief in our worth, abilities, and potential. Our level of self-esteem affects the choices we make, how we present ourselves, and the confidence we exude in every aspect of our life. An aspect that represents dignity and assurance. When we cultivate self-esteem, we project dignity, self-respect, and assurance in all our interactions. The silent statement expresses through our demeanor and presence speaks volumes to the world. So our intention in this part of the lesson is building self-esteem without a facade. Think about a time when you felt the need to put on a facade, maybe at a social gathering or in a professional setting. You might have concealed your true thoughts and feelings, or even pretended to be someone you're not, all to fit in and meet certain expectations. This disconnect between your authentic self and the facade you project can chip away at your self-esteem over time. In essence, it's like wearing a mask to hide behind, an act that erodes your confidence and authenticity. In this part of the lesson, we'll diving into effective ways to boost your self-esteem without creating a facade. It's about cultivating genuine self-esteem through subtle, impactful changes in your body language, tonality, appearance, behaviors, and mindset. Now, why does building self-esteem matter? Well, for one, it forms the core foundation of a healthy and fulfilling life, as cultivating self-esteem is a vital importance as it forms a bedrock for confidence, resilience, and healthy relationships. It guides decision-making, enhancing emotional well-being, and paves the way for a more satisfying and authentic life. In essence, self-esteem is the cornerstone for personal growth and self-mastery. This lesson will be divided into 3 parts, with the first one being building self-esteem, understanding the importance of self-esteem and how it influences our actions and decisions as we learn how to build our self-esteem effectively. For number 2, we have setting boundaries. We will explore the significance of personal boundaries and how they protect our well-being while developing healthy boundaries that empowers us and those around us. And for number 3, we have embracing empowerment, discovering the transformative nature of empowerment as we cultivate a sense of personal power that enables us to pursue our goals and desires fearlessly. Practices for building self-esteem. Building self-esteem. For the first one, we have body language and tonality. Your body language and tone of voice can convey more about your self-esteem than words ever could. We'll explore how simple shifts in your posture, eye contact, and the way you speak can radiate confidence and self-assuredness. Now, when you think about these things, think about maybe an experience or an interaction that you may have had previously or in the past. And it was an experience that remained in your mind as maybe the most confident person you ever met. And when you think about that confident person that you have met in your life experience, one of the first symbols or representations that they may have that left that tone of confidence in your experience with them is actually the way they carry themselves when speaking, their body language, and the way they stood connected with you with complete eye contact, listening to what you had to say, and always having a great level or amount of feedback representing with maybe a rebuttal of what you were saying. So I'm sure that you felt heard, you felt seen, and you felt the need to maybe approach this person and find out more about them because you were maybe intrigued by the way they were carrying themselves and the energy they brought into the room when present. Right? These are the subtle shifts that we can all take when we learn to cultivate that self-esteem within ourselves by small and subtle motions and acts and behaviors like those of a body language and tonality. Bringing us into number 2, which is appearance. Your appearance is a reflection of how you perceive yourself. We'll dive into how making conscious choices about your style and grooming can enhance your self-esteem and send a powerful message to the world. Because for every stage in our life, there is an expression that we may want to have of who we are and who we are becoming. The way you dress maybe when you were younger is not the way you want to continue dressing when you're a little older and when you're an adult with a family. So as we learn and grow and evolve and mature, our appearance will start to change. But throughout all these stages, based on the intention and the proximity that we want to attract in these experiences, we want to make sure that our appearances are making the statement of that very thing that we want to experience and attract, because that is going to dictate who you surround yourself with, what you are attracting to you, and how you are perceived by others, as people can only see what you yourself see of yourself. The next factor we have is behavior, as small, consistent behavior can make a massive impact. We'll discuss how setting and achieving small goals, practicing self-compassion, and developing healthy routines can elevate your self-esteem, because we have first to create the habits and the behaviors that are going to properly and impactfully cultivate the right mindset for us to build that self-esteem, where we can trust and believe in our own doing and in our own representation of ourselves, so that our representation and our behaviors are both in union with themselves. Right? They have to be in alignment with what is it that we want, and therefore our behavior representing that very thing. Leading to the fourth one, which is mindset. Your mindset is the cornerstone of self-esteem. Therefore, we're going to be introducing techniques to reframe negative self-talk, embrace self-respect, and nurture true confidence. Because indeed, it is the combination of all of these tactics and practices and techniques that are going to enhance the right mindset, so that once you transform your mindset, the end result will be the one you have intentions for, which in this case would be cultivating self-esteem, so that we can cultivate true, authentic personal power. Now, what are the benefits of building self-esteem? Because there's always benefits to everything that we're doing here, and we want to make sure that we point out exactly what those benefits are so that we remember there's a purpose and an intention behind cultivating these practices. And for the first one we have is effective decision making. When we value ourselves, we make choices that align with our values and aspirations rather than seeking external approval or validation. This is a form of self-respect and self-trust because we are trusting our own inner instinct and what is going on within our own experience. How is it that I'm feeling doing this or being around certain people or being around certain places? Is it really truly where I would rather be, or am I confident enough to stand alone if I have to until that feeling that I am wanting or preferring comes to be, as I learn to align with it myself first, right? It is a form that once we build more self-esteem, we are able to be okay with being in a group or being alone. As standing alone throughout all transformation is very common, because as you're going through the transformative process of cultivating your self-esteem, more than likely you will be releasing and shedding away of the old belief systems, the old behavior patterns, the old environments, the old individuals that no longer align with where you want to be. And therefore you might have to stand alone until you attract and align with that very thing that you intentionally want to co-create in your life. Right? So we need to have effective decision making for that, so that when the old comes back, we firmly remain solid in our intention to create new, therefore no longer giving it access. Therefore consistently remaining solid in that decision and no longer being in two minds of what I want and what I don't want. Because when we have the reassurance of our self-confidence, we are certain that is what we want without questioning it. Bringing us to the next benefit, which is enhanced well-being. Good self-esteem contributes to overall well-being, fostering contentment, purpose, and life satisfaction. Now, when we step into true confidence and self-esteem, what happens is we are no longer seeking to seek out external validation or approval. We are okay and certain with what is it that we want. Therefore, we would wait for the moment that comes about where we feel content and we feel that we are doing it for a purpose, therefore leading to the result of a satisfied life, right? Because in order for us to truly be satisfied, we have to listen to what is it that we truly want and not what others outside of us want, because it is us who are going through our experiences. Therefore, it is up to us to listen to the decisions that we are making on a grand scheme of things, based on our feelings, based on our emotional state, based on the vision that we see for the future. We have to make sure that we are aligning with what is aligning us to that end result that we envision for ourselves. And therefore, we are stepping into the practice of enhancing our full and overall well-being, because we are making that solid decision into doing so. And it is only then, when we do these steps that benefit us, that we truly step into authenticity, which is our next benefit, as it allows us to be our true authentic self, where we don't need to put on a facade or pretend to be someone we're not, leading to a more genuine and fulfilling life. Because in order for us to actually step into true authenticity, we need to be firm in our belief of self and be self-assured in that very belief, where we are okay with standing alone until we're not anymore. Understanding that us being authentic doesn't allow us to be in alignment with certain people. That means that certain people are not in alignment with us, and that is okay as well. Because for those that truly align with us, it will be okay to be authentically ourselves, where there is no judgment. I will feel comfortable being myself around certain individuals in certain places, in certain environments, and so on. Right? And it is only when we feel comfortable being our genuine self without the judgment of another, or feeling belittled, or like I need to dim my light so that I don't make this other person feel insecure about themselves, then that's when you already know, okay, this is not where I belong, and I should learn to cultivate enough self-assurance and self-esteem within myself to know when to walk away from those environments that are not receiving me for my truth, so that I can sit in my truth and not have to turn it on and off around certain places and certain things. And these very acts brings us into the next benefit, which is better mental health. Good self-esteem is linked to better mental health. It reduces the risk of anxiety and depression and leads to a more positive self-image. Which brings me into the awareness that once you realize that a lot of the behaviors and feelings and emotions that are resurfacing in your everyday life are actually results of you not being in the right place that allows you to be who you truly are, or around the right people, or doing the right passion, something that brings you life and brings you creativity so that you could come back into life as you align yourself with creative endeavors that allow you to express yourself differently. Sometimes anxiety and depression are just warning signs letting us know that we are not doing what we love, we are not doing what we prefer, we are not around the right individuals or in the right places, and we need to make a change so that our soul feels alive and it feels like it's living and not stagnant in the position of wanting external validation and approval from things that really don't matter, right? Because if it did matter, it wouldn't mind who we are, and if it does mind who we are truly, they should not even matter. They should not even be a part of the equation of your experience at all, because that means you are in complete disalignment of that experience. And once you start solidifying that authentic expression of yourself and you start owning that, only those that really love you would want to stay, and therefore they would truly accept you unconditionally. But if they don't, then it will be removed. And this is where stepping into non-attachment plays a big role in cultivating this whole entire practice. Because if we are attached to what we think things should be and who we think we should be around, and attached to all these ideas and stories we've been feeding ourselves, then we are placing ourselves in a really big disadvantage, and therefore keeping us stagnant in the moving forward that we are intentionally trying to create at this very moment. But if we do the opposite of that and follow the steps and the practices that I'm cultivating in this course, you will quickly see that mental health will come naturally when it comes to stepping into who you truly are, and you start to cultivate your true essence so that you can really and truly be who you are and not the facade of it. Bringing me to this next concept: believe to become. Remember, you must first believe in yourself before you can truly become who you aspire to be. Self-esteem is the bridge between your present self and the self you're meant to become. It's not about arrogance, but a deep, unwavering self-belief. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how can anyone outside of you believe in you? In fact, most people won't believe in you until you truly and fully believe in yourself, until you take the actions that represents you believing in yourself, until you trust yourself to the point that everyone outside of you knows you believe in yourself, because the results of you cultivating that belief of self is being represented by the life you are living, right? But first we have to cultivate that within ourselves. We have to firmly and surely believe in who we are becoming and know we will reach that level one step at a time, so that in cultivating the momentum of that self-belief, slowly but surely we will reach that next potential of ourselves. Meaning we can't have any fear or denial of that possibility, because who we are becoming is not who we're manufacturing into becoming. We're just becoming who we're meant to be in the first place. So this is a process of self-discovery and self-realization of who that is, who truly defines who you really are. Instead of creating a character or a facade, we're actually just unveiling and removing the layers that cloak those layers of who we truly are. So it's a different process and it's a different meaning. Which brings me into that belief of self is the belief that everything is possible. You just have to believe in who that self truly is once you discover it. Concluding this lesson, as we conclude part 1 of building self-esteem in our journey of cultivating personal power, you've taken a significant step towards unlocking your true potential. Self-esteem is a beacon that guides you to the best version of yourself, and it's within your power to enhance it. Remember, transformation begins from within, and self-esteem is the catalyst for becoming the master of your own destiny. all while staying true to your authentic self.